Good morning, everyone. Tom Missel, Interim Vice President for University Relations at St. Bonaventure, and welcome to a momentous day in the university's history. The Board of Trustees, along with the search committee and a number of members of the campus community involved all weekend long in the search that culminates after an 8-month process to name the 21st president of the university, Dr. Dennis DePiro from Lemoyne College in Syracuse. Joining us today from the university's Board of Trustees are Father Kevin Mullen from Holy Name Province, Les Quick, and Jim Meyer. Gentlemen, I'm sure it's been an exhausting process, extremely thorough. Les, if you could talk a little bit about Dr. DePiro and why you think he's a great fit for St. Bonaventure.
Well, I think Dennis has really proven himself. You know, we were looking for a couple of things. We were looking for somebody who had experience in enrollment, somebody who's had experience in fundraising, and somebody who's been around the university process for a long time. And Dennis has all those things in spades.
What did you find about him, Jim, that was in the context of all your interviews and meeting with him that really most impressed you about him, maybe personally, aside from his resume, which is extremely vast and diverse? What did you really like about him?
So one, he brings a real sense of energy and a real sense of commitment. And he spoke to me many times about how much he wanted this job and how committed he would be to this job. Second, and I think this shouldn't be shortchanged, he's been instrumental in bringing in new programs at Lemoyne, which is a big part of their enrollment success today, and that credibility really resonated well with us.
Yeah. And his involvement with the Allied Health Initiative at Lemoyne, given what we're doing now, has to be a critical piece, I would think.
Yeah, particularly because that's just an area that the demand for those types of students is exploding. Those types of programs, many universities are now trying to implement, and I think having a seasoned leader that really has done it before was really crucial to us.
Father Kevin, I was involved in one of the interviews this weekend on campus, and one thing that struck me about him was he was involved in a Jesuit leadership formation program throughout the course of his time at Lemoyne. What do you think he brings to the table in terms of, as a lay leader, in terms of his ability to integrate the mission at this place?
Well, he has fully committed to the concept of mission, and his vast experience in Catholic higher education. He's very familiar with the Catholic intellectual tradition, and he has a very sound knowledge of the Franciscan tradition and very open to learning more and more about it. And I think it'll be the responsibility of everyone in the university to help share their story of the Franciscan tradition with him.
Right. I know there was maybe some concern among alumni that maybe even some hope that a Franciscan would be discovered in the process. That didn't happen. Can you talk a little bit about that and maybe how you went about that search process in investigating the possibility of a Franciscan leader?
Sure, and we were actively involved, the Friars of Holy Name Province, as well as I could say the Friars of the United States. The need to have a leader in higher education was shared with them. But we have to deal with the facts of where we are today. And also, this is a very specialized job. So we have a number of friars, over 30, involved in higher education. The vast majority of them are involved in the classroom and in research and in student services. That's what they want to do, and that's what they're good at. And it's my own belief that's where we should be. And I say that as a former president of a college, that it is a challenging task, and that the friars themselves, while they want to be visible and they're absolutely committed to this university, are doing it through the classroom and through student services.
Les, can you talk a little bit about the process in general? I mean, this weekend was kind of just a crazy weekend, and it seemed like it was really fast, but this was simply the end point to a long and thorough process.
Yeah, this was the culmination. But I think when we started, Tom, we really wanted to get as many qualified applicants as possible. And so we ran what's called a modified search. And that is so that every constituency group that interviewed the finalists this weekend signed a confidentiality agreement. We wanted to make sure that we would have, great people apply to the job. So, but the process really with the community, with the faculty, with the staff, students, alumni, the friars, it really worked well to have all those people interview these candidates and come back to the board this morning, give us their download, and go from there.
Right. Yeah, and I think, Jim, sometimes there's a perception that this is a heavy-handed decision made simply by the board, but there was a lot of people on campus involved in this process. Can you talk a little bit about that and how valuable that was in getting that feedback?
That's exactly right. And from the very beginning, when Les and I laid out the game plan of what we were going to follow, inclusive was the number one word. Mm-hmm. And I can't tell you how much we owe a debt of gratitude to the other members of the committee who actively participated in the entire process. There is, no quote deal that was done in the back room. Right. Everything was done front and center. I want to remind everybody, as we went through the whittling process to get down to the final three and then to get down to the choice we made this morning, it was done by ballot. Yeah. It was done by ballot, and it was a consensus that prevailed.
And it's my sense in hearing some feedback that it was not easy getting, you had such a qualified pool of candidates, it was not easy getting to this point. Can you talk about maybe what that says, Les, about what a great job this was, that so many people, so highly qualified, sought this position?
Well, I think that Bonaventure is a gem, and it needs to be polished up a little, but it is a gem. And as Dr. Roth said here, you people are all on the inside. You don't realize what you've got here, and we just need to raise our profile. And I think a lot of people in the process of this search realized what we've got here, and they were eager to be a part of it.